I actually received a couple of emails from my dozens and dozens
and the dozens of mankind's bands
asking why I have not exactly been doing a lot of knife sharpening videos on my knife sharpening channel. Oops. Part of it is it's just when I get them in, a lot of times I got to turn them real quick and to find the time to quiet the crazed monkey down and to have a quiet place and set the camera up and work around it is just kind of difficult. So I've gotten a little relaxed on doing it. Honestly, I didn't think that many people liked it, but apparently a few of y'all do. So we're going to do a couple knife sharpening videos here again and see if that works for everybody. I have back on the bench yet again a frequent flyer in this little zero tolerance 350. These little guys were everywhere. I think they discontinued this and the 301. These are really nice little knives for the money. I want to say they've gone up crazy spending now if you can find them. The assist is good. The lockup is good. The build quality is good. The blade steel. S30V. I mean, you can get a whole lot better, but let's be honest, you don't really need a whole lot better. S30V is pretty good stuff. So this little guy is back yet again, and we are going to edge him. But first, we're going to see exactly how not sharp it is. I cheated and felt the edge, so I may have a bit of more information than y'all do, but what do we think? The dreaded phone book paper. Emma, you can do it. No, that's tearing. All right, let's try that again. Okay. If it was acceptable to chew your way through the paper, we're not bad. We're not bad. Slicing cleanly, that is not a cut. that is a tear. So you have lost a fight to phone book paper. It has happened. Do I have printer paper? I don't know that I do. I don't think I have any printer paper handy. But we're going to make this guy go from butter knife to knife. And in the grand tradition of the individual that owns it, he sent it covered in, this could be deer parts, this could be pumpkin, this could be, I'm not entirely certain why. It's always a fun game to try to figure that out. So I would say let's get the sharpening. I'll leave the cleaning of this guy till later, just because we don't need to worry about hitting the scales. We've got a big enough offset with our serrations. So come on.
Oh, why didn't you just go home? That's your home! Are you too good for your home? Answer me!
I do so miss doing sharpening videos. Y'all, please make sure to tell me in the comments everything that I'm doing wrong. I know there's lots of it. So we'll have those wonderful individuals that will take great pride in telling me how horrible I do everything. You're welcome.
No offense.
Alright, that actually fits pretty good. Oh, I forgot my marker. Hang on. Put the marker on just so we can see if there's any. That's gross. I probably should clean the blade a little bit before I use my magic marker on it. Areas we're not hitting. I've done this knife before. I'm relatively confident of the bevel, unless it's been damaged, which doesn't really look like it. But it's just a good thing to do. Start off with a relatively high grit stone, because we just want to see if it evenly takes all of that marker off. So we're starting off with a 1500 diamond. Honestly, I could probably get it back to where it's supposed to be on this stone, but it would take a while, and I don't really want to. Now, if I can get my angle gauge to work. Come on. You know you want to. Okay. See where we're at. I want to say that's pretty close to what it's supposed to be. I have all this written down, but I want to say it was 20. Let's gamble and say 20. Okay. Had to let the dog out quick. Okay, so we've got our marker on our blade. We're dry. I'm going to start at 20 degrees, which is what I think I set this at. That's where most of these guys seem to be at. So we're going to give it a pass. And I don't know how well it's showing up on camera, but I think you can tell. That's pretty silvery. Silvery? Can we? Yeah, we'll use it. I'll allow it.
I'll allow it.
And again, I go back to abusing my camera. Sorry, camera. And this side too. Wow, we can feel. I'm hoping that is just junk on the blade. Excuse me here, guys. I should have cleaned this beforehand, but I was going to kind of leave the cleaning for another one, because that felt horrible. I don't know if the edge got rolled on this side, or if it was just parts of Bambi on there. You can see very little marker actually came off. We took most of it off with the stone. Oh, I hope that's okay. Yes, thank no. Oh.
Who hurt you? Who hurt you? Who hurt you? Who hurt you? Who hurt you?
You can actually, I'm trying this new program, and I may be actually able to zoom in or out without making everything mad. That's showing it right or not. Yeah, it's actually grabbing pieces of my fingernail. Okay, well, I was thinking we were just going to try to be quick on this one and knock it out with some less aggressive stones, but no. something happened to this. Something hurt its inner child. And we're going to give it a few passes with the beast, just to kind of get this thinking about life. All right. I'm not going to subject you all to having to listen to scrape, 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 scrape. So I'll fast forward this. Oh, I don't know how to do that on here. Ruh-roh.
Wile E. Coyote, Super Genius Esquire, also DDS, PhD, and...
Have to do that. I've never edited a video I've done, ever. Exposure? Shutter? I don't know what any of these settings mean. Alright, I'm going to have to try to figure this out later. I don't know how to do this now. Okay, I have no clue how to do this, so we're going to try to wing it afterwards. Well, we are through 50 grit, we're through 100 grit, and we're through 140 grit. And I really don't have a lot of reprofiling to do. Had a little bit of damage up here. Wait. Got a little bit of damage up here that I had to get kind of taken care of. Other than that, it's not in bad shape. It's just dull. Happens. You use them, they get dull. So it's not a big deal, but it just takes a little time to work it all out. I'm moving on to 300. We'll work through 300, through 600, and then through 1500 in the diamond stones. And then we'll get on to polishing. At this point, I would probably be willing to bet it's sharper now than what it was. It'll be a really toothy edge, but let's see. I mean, it's tough to do it at this angle, but it's probably sharper now than what it was originally, but it's definitely toothy. So let's get on to it and see you in a little bit.
Stay with him, Air One. I'm all over it. Suspect has increased speed to 120. Maintain visual, Air One. 140 miles an hour. Do not lose him. This is an A-Star, sir, not an Apache. 150. 160. He's gone.
We successfully worked our way through all of the diamond stones, and we're pretty sharp. I've worked a lot of the scratches out. I don't know if you can tell by the difference in just the the reflectiveness of the blade edge. But a lot of the scratches have been worked out. We're never going to get it perfect. It's a user knife.
Shiny.
If a knife's edge is perfect and mirrored, the owner don't use it or spends a ton of time constantly touching it up. So this one is reflective-ish at the moment. Now I'm trying to decide if I want to use kangaroo leather straps or if I want to use the diamond tape. I'm thinking kangaroo. I would be willing to bet right now we could probably shave with this edge without too much of an issue. It's going to be slightly toothy. It won't be, excuse me, it won't be horrible, but it will be a little bit toothy. And I like to make things as good as I can get them. I don't go too crazy when I know it's just a user and they're going to use it to the best of its ability. I don't see the point in wasting hours and hours and hours on that. If it's a showpiece, I guess it's something different. Even that doesn't really make the most sense if it's for nothing more than just to brag on. I mean, mine are reflective, but I don't really go full mirror and work out every single scratch every time. It just doesn't make a lot of sense. This is a piece of kangaroo hide that is put on a backer of aluminum, and then you put a stropping paste onto that. This is 4,000 grit equivalent diamond stropping paste. And why use a strop over the diamond tape? Well, there's a few schools of thought. Supposedly, a lot of people think a stropped edge is slightly more durable. I don't know. Jury's out on that one a little bit for me. I think there's probably something to it, but is there really enough evidence there that I would claim one or the other? Not really. Stropping, to me, works a little faster, and you're not constantly having to add honing oil to the blade. I guess maybe that's why I'm doing it. I tend to strop with leather a lot more than I do the stropping tape.
Phrasing.
The stropping tape works really well. You just have to really... It's messy. There's a little bit more to it. You got to be on top of changing the tapes. Getting the tapes on there perfectly is not exactly the easiest thing in the world. I do think the stropping tape is probably better for the coveted mirrored edge. I think it removes scratches after a certain point better than the leather. Leather is good at initially removing the scratches, but then it gets down to a point where I think the stropping tape does better. Once you get into the really high, can you call it grit when it's like 160,000? I don't think we can really conscionably refer to 160,000 grit as grit. Okay, so now we're going to go to, this is a 13,000. Is that the next one? I thought I had a, yeah, oh. I lost the 6. And we should probably clean it too. Oh, man, I'm just beating the crap out of this lighting rig and camera today. And you can see if I'm not careful what I'm doing with my rag, I'm actually cutting my rag because it's that sharp already. This is just kind of making it pretty. It's already plenty sharp. It's getting slightly sharper as I do this, but honestly, this is just to make the edge look a little better, to work out some of the scratches. And when you're stropping, there's no real, well, the only wrong way is to go up. If you have a very, very well worn in strop, you can do it, but you had better have your A game on completely to do it. Yeah, no. The main thing is just to go slow. I'm not putting any pressure on here. I'm just letting this ride down. The weight of the carrier is the only thing that's really doing any of the work. I'm just allowing it to trace the blade. A little bit of the stropping compound is on the leather, and it's very slowly, very carefully working out a bunch of those scratches. And it's this knife specifically will never be perfect. This knife's been used a long time. It's a daily user. You're never going to get it to a point where every single tiny scratch is worked out of it, unless you want to devote days and days to sitting here and polishing. And I mean, really, there's no real benefit to it. There's actually a lot of evidence that a toothier edge holds an edge a bit longer than a perfectly polished edge will. I still think the polished edge looks pretty nice. And it's just showing somebody that you cared, and you cared enough to really make their project as good as you could get it. Last one I'm going to do here is a 0.5 micron. This is going to be a 60,000 grit paste on here. I'm not going to go any higher. Could it very, very slowly work some things out? It could. S30V is pretty tough stuff. I mean, I could have used an Arkansas stone. I've got a translucent stone that's really, really good. But on a hard metal like this, you're going to bring a lunch. You're going to be there for a long time just tracing back and forth. And really, unless the owner is dead set on, I want that mirrored edge, this was, I've done it before on an older knife. This is my granddad's knife, and I want it to be perfect, and it's going to live in a case, and this is not something that's going to be used. Okay, at that point I get it, and I'll let somebody talk me into it. But an everyday user, I mean, really, your mirrored edge ain't going to be there very long, and it's a lot of work to get it there in the first place. Mainly the most work on any of these knives is reestablishing an even and controlled bevel edge when I get it. Those are normally all over the place, and it's dramatically different from point to point, and getting that reestablished is the time-consuming part, especially on really hard metal. Getting that ground and to be uniform can take a bit. Like really heavy-duty D2s, Medfords, man, you're going to be there a bit. But once you have it, when somebody sends it back to you, hopefully they continue to send it back to the person that started it, then it's a relatively easy touch-up. I just make notes of all this. Okay, I know what angle this knife was at. I know what angle that knife was at. I can figure it out, but it takes a minute or two. And knowing where it was set, and knowing that I did it, knowing that it is even, there's a lot less work of just getting it leveled out, pardon the pun. This one is about where I think we're going to say we're done. I still got a lot of little scratches I'm seeing. It is plenty sharp. I have no question in my mind right now. It will cut that paper without the slightest of a problem. And sometimes I quite honestly just need to say stop on it, because in this one specifically, I know the owner does not care. If it's remotely shiny, he is just happy as a clam. He wants it sharp, and that's pretty much his sole criteria. He's not the one bragging about, look how shiny the edge is. You know, he's going to use it. So I kind of go overboard on things because I believe in making something the best I can make it. That being said, when the owner doesn't even really care that much, I need to kind of step back and go, okay, I'm good with it here. Now the next step of this one is going to be, I'm going to break it all down, clean and tune the action, clean up everything inside of it, which I'm sure it's relatively ugly, give everything a nice oil, tune the action, give it some knife pivot lube. But let me, how am I going to do this safely? Work around the camera. It is certainly shiny, but it's not mirrored.
No, shiny.
Let's see if I can get a bit more light to it. I mean, it's definitely catching light. I mean, even from here, you can see it picking up the colors of the flag. So, definitely shiny. Is it sharp? Trying to go as slow as I can possibly go through here. Come on. I do have fingers though. See if we can show up top more. See if I can just show up top. She's sharp. Sharp all over. Not the prettiest, but it's definitely sharp. The serrations on this have always given me fits. But you don't really care, you don't really use them. So this is the zero tolerance 350 in S30V. Great little knives. They had a big brother. There's a 300 and then the 301. Really cool knives. Really tough to find anymore. When you do, they are proud of the price tag. Next video will be tearing it apart, cleaning it, giving it the full spot treatment. But as of now, she's sharp.